What's up, guys? Welcome back to B is for Broken Beamers. Today we're going to be working on the 240Z mainly, but we're going to get started working on mine and Chelsea's E60 M5. We had a little hiccup yesterday. It had a pissed off cylinder. I'm hoping it's due to a mass airflow sensor, but if not, we got to keep kind of diagnosing it and figuring out what's going on. So we're going to jump into that right now, and then later today we'll head back to the shop and we're going to be cutting. It's a cutting day. Stay tuned. All right, a little, there we go. A little of that action. So I went over the codes at the end of the video yesterday if you guys missed it, and I've diagnosed that I think it has something to do with the mass airflow sensor. It's getting an incorrect temperature reading, and the temperature, the air temp reading comes from the mass airflow sensor. Now, it's on cylinder 7. I don't know which bank cylinder 7 is, so we're just gonna have to do the same thing on both. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me, but I figured why not clean both of these while we're in here. So I got some MAF cleaner right here, a little torque set right here. We're gonna go ahead and pop off our mass airflow sensors. That's one right there, and the other one's right here, and we'll clean them both up. I got both the mass airflow sensors out, and you can see that they're overall they look pretty clean. The last time I had a mass airflow sensor that was actually fouled, it was so dirty it was really obvious that something could be wrong. These look pretty clean. You know, looks can be deceiving though. So I got them out. I'm gonna go ahead and clean them up, and then we'll test them. Okay, we got both the MAFs cleaned and reinstalled. We got Chelsea inside. She's gonna go ahead and kick it on, and we'll listen to how it sounds. Terrible. Shut it off. That sounded absolutely terrible. Good God. Okay, so I didn't hear the car when Chelsea came in and parked yesterday. Definitely not a mass airflow sensor type of sound. It wasn't just, we just checked the error codes, and now we're getting cylinder misfires on all cylinders. Well, no, 1 through 5 and then 7, I think. So we're having a bunch of misfires. The engine's super pissed off, and I have no clue what it might be. Scary though. It's a really expensive engine to let go to crap. Google is our friend. I did some Googling, and I had a total change of heart on the plans for today. Well, what's happened is the M5 being broken is just totally stressing me out. Not knowing what it is, not really having an idea of the severity of the issue, really got me stressed out. So what I want to do is I want to just keep working on it, because then I will relieve some of that stress, keep trying to figure out what it is. So we're going to head off to the shop right now. We need to get some tools, and we need to get Chelsea a replacement car. All right, we're out here at the shop. I just finished packing up everything that I think I'm gonna need to work on the M5. I've loaded it all into the Z. Chelsea has taken the FJ and drove away. I don't blame her. Traffic's gonna be hell getting home. So I'm about ready to head back home and start working on the M5. But before I do that, I wanna take a second out to thank our sponsor. This episode is proudly sponsored by Honey. You guys remember Honey, right? Honey is the free, emphasis on free, it's totally free shopping tool that automatically searches the internet for the best promo code every time you buy something online. So it saves you money completely for free. It works on over 30,000 sites, including Amazon. I use it on a lot of different sites. I use it heavily on Amazon and eBay, but I also use it on places like Tire Rack and Auto Parts Warehouse when I'm doing all the shopping for the show. I personally have Honey installed on every single one of my computers that I use, and I have saved so much money buying everything for the show and everything that we do. I've completely lost track, but I do have track of my Honey Gold, which is another thing that they have within this program, and you collect Honey Gold when you buy certain things, and I've got like over 5,000 Honey Gold, which translates into I can redeem that for a $50 gift certificate anywhere. And again, this is just 2-click install. I didn't have to do anything. I got that free 50 bucks on top of the money that I've already saved. It is super easy to install, and again, for free. It's just 2 clicks. Head over to joinhoney.com/build, and then 2 clicks away, you'll have it installed on your browser and you're ready to go. You'll start saving money right away. Last time I mentioned Honey on the show, a couple thousand of us went off and downloaded it, and that's a good start. I'd like this time for there to be a lot more thousand of you guys download it, but they came back and told me that on average, B is for Build users that went and downloaded Honey saved $34. So if you think about that, for every 1,000 of us that went off and downloaded it, we saved $34,000. It's incredible. For a free app that you have nothing to lose, the savings are incredible, guys. So I highly recommend it, guys. Go to joinhoney.com/build and sign up today. You won't regret it. It's a win-win. It's such a great idea. I really wish it was my idea. All right, thanks again to Honey for sponsoring another episode. Now let's get the Z finished, loaded up, and stuck in rush hour traffic. All right, we just made it back home. So the weird thing that we had going on here was when Chelsea was driving this last, we had a cylinder 7 misfire. So then you would start to, like, you know, open it up, go look at cylinder 7 coil pack and spark plug and other things like that and try and diagnose what was wrong with cylinder 7. But then the last time we ran it, we had errors in cylinders. It was like 1, 2, 3, 5, something else. It wasn't like one bank. That would make a little bit more sense if, anyways. So I got to double check the wiring. If there's any MAF cleaner fluid left on the MAF, it would throw a really, really weird reading, which could throw the whole thing off. So that's one thing it could have been, and that stuff would have evaporated by now. Other than that, I need to double check, make sure everything's plugged in, the wires are plugged in, everything's kind of, you know, situated the right way before we start it back up again, because we really need to figure out if this is a problem with all cylinders misfiring or a single cylinder misfiring. I mean, a single cylinder misfiring is something I could look into and I could diagnose and I could try and figure out what's up with that cylinder. But if every single one is off, that's probably more of a like a tune or a ground or something else or a catastrophic engine failure. So I'm gonna give this all a once more look over, and then I'm gonna clear all codes in the car and we'll start it back up. Okay, so really strange. We're getting more of the same. Cylinders 1, so this is the way the cylinders go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're getting misfire on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Makes no sense. After a couple hours of Googling and reading online and trying to diagnose, this problem can be caused by so many different things. It's only really unique in the fact that we have a bank over here that's misfiring and then a single cylinder over here that's misfiring. But there's a lot of things to check. I'm going to try and go through some of the easier ones to access right now. So right under here, you have what I believe is called an ionic module, and they're the same on each bank. So what you can do is we could pull the one off of here, switch it over here, do the same for over here, plug them in, and then if we see the codes kind of flip-flop, then we know that that's a sign that maybe that module is bad. There's also a lot of different stuff between air-fuel ratio that we can try after that, but I want to try that first. Alright, so you can see what I did there. We just went ahead and popped each one off from here to here, and then just went ahead and plugged it in, left it loose, because we're going to go ahead and clear all the codes, start the car again, and see what happens. Okay, same exact thing. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 misfire. Cylinder 7 misfire, running rich. I can smell that it's running rich out of the exhaust. So my friend Brett, who I bought some of these parts from on this car, actually a while ago sent me a diagnostic computer to use with this car. I'm completely unfamiliar with it, but I used to be a software engineer. I should be able to figure it out. I'm gonna go ahead and get that computer, try and set it up, and let's do a scan using the BMW kind of diagnostic software, see if we can get any more information out of it. Well, this was pretty cool. I was able to actually use some like real BMW diagnostic software, INPA. I mean, it's not like legit BMW stuff, I don't think. I don't really know what it is even, but it's more in-depth than the code reader that I was using down there on the ground. So I got into all the error codes, I documented all of those, I cleared them all out, started the car back up, and then I checked them again, and these are the main ones that came up. There's 9 DME, DDE errors. I'm gonna run inside right now and start Googling around and see what those mean. All right, we are running out of daylight, as you could probably tell, but I've got some more things to try. So as I mentioned before, we switched over these ionic control computers. Now we need to double check that the grounds are nice and clean, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then, if you guys remember, Chelsea drove it home, cylinder 7 misfiring, right? And then I did the MAF spray, and then all of a sudden, all of bank 1 was misfiring. So, what I want to do is switch the maths around and see if the problem translates. Now, the other thing I should mention is I did look up all the codes that the computer was spitting out, and it's basically just more defined versions of all the codes that the little handheld device, the cheapo device that we were using, was spitting out as well. You got a misfire on cylinder 1 through 5, misfire on cylinder 7, random misfire in the car, and then it goes into limp mode. So that's exactly what we expected. Well, it's exactly what we got before. So I'm going to pull the maths off, swap those around, and check these grounds, and we'll see what the result is. Well, I found something that's not quite right. You can see right here when I went to reinstall the MAF that I did not thread the screw into the actual hole for the MAF container. So this is going to do two things. It could allow air to leak through, which is probably very unlikely, but it also will set it at the wrong angle to catch the air. I don't know if it's temperamental enough to be the cause of the issue, but it's definitely installed incorrectly. I don't know how I didn't notice that. So I'm still going to go ahead with swapping the MAFs, and we'll see what the result is. All right, jumping inside the car, I'm gonna go ahead and clear all the codes. I'm back to using this little guy because it's just much faster. So erase all the codes. Oh, you guys can't see that, sorry. I'm erasing all the trouble codes. The check engine light is gone. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start her back up and we'll see what it sounds like. Doesn't sound like we have an entire bank misfiring now. We need to wait a little bit. We haven't got our error yet, so normally that would have fired off by now, actually. So there we go. Okay, so now we got our error, and it's going to deactivate the cylinder that was running incorrectly, and that's why you can hear the car running better. Cylinder 7. Hey, we're down to only cylinder 7. I wish you guys could see that. Come on, cylinder 7. So we only have cylinder 7 running incorrectly right now. Now the car, what it's done is disabled cylinder 7. It just eventually just shuts the injector off. So now we're running on 9 cylinders. Still a lot more than most cars, you know. So we probably still got a good 400 horsepower. Anywho, that's a win. So I hate to have to admit this, but not only was it not screwed in the right way, I think there's a very high likelihood that MAF sensor was flipped around backwards. So the air would have not been flowing past the element, so it didn't read any air at all. Obviously ran the car rich, and then misfired that whole bank. So everything that we did this morning, where I cleaned off the MAFs and I put them back in, basically set us up for a disaster today. Now, we have a cylinder 7 misfire. So it goes 6 right here, 7 right there, but that's probably like a coil pack or a spark plug or something easy. We don't have more than half an engine wrong. All right, so since it's so dark and I think that I will be able to fix that cylinder problem tomorrow, I'm just gonna leave the M5 for tonight, and we're gonna meander across the street here to my last automotive chore of the night on the Otis Mercedes. So we actually had a weird issue where the kill switch that we designed so well, it actually didn't work. So what happened is, sorry, the camera's not happy. What happened was it totally drained the battery in like 2 days. So the battery's completely flat dead on this car and it won't start. So I gotta pull the battery out and get it charged up. Voila, battery is pulled. I'll charge that thing overnight, and then we can take this thing on a vacation coming to you in a theater near soon. All right, guys, that is a wrap on today. I sincerely apologize to those of you that wanted to see more work get done on the 240. I thought that was the game plan. This whole thing with the MAF just completely threw me for a loop. Cars are wonderful and crazy in the sense that you can break something in the morning and fix it later that night and feel like you actually accomplished something. Like, I feel so good about what happened today. I'm so happy that we're down to just 1 cylinder misfiring, and I'm confident that we'll figure it out tomorrow. I hate derailing builds. I hate having to jump back off the 240. Like, we literally only worked on it for a day, like half a day, but Chelsea needs her car back. And if it was my car, I obviously have replacements. I would just jump in a replacement car and I would deal with it later. But it being Chelsea's car, she doesn't really have anything else that she's comfortable driving. So got to get it back on the road. So tomorrow, I'm pretty confident we'll wrap that up and hopefully we'll have time to get back out to the shop and work on the 240. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I appreciate it so much. You guys remember to please hit the link in the description, joinhoney.com/build. And my battery's dying, so I got to wrap this one up. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Come on.